Want me to start off?
Oh, here we are.
Okay, it is episode 16 of Go Full Amazon.
We're back.
We have Jen and Tara, and for one night only,
Well,
the most beautiful, the smartest, most gorgeous woman we know.
Sidekick.
The sidekick.
our sidekick.
Mrs.
Our
Stephanie
6-foot
Cantor.
sidekick. Stephanie Cantor.
Thanks.
We love that you're sitting around our kitchen table. Because really, that's what we're doing. Really, just so you know, we have like, how many kids are here right now? A ton.
7 to 10.
Yeah, there's a bunch of kids.
There's a range.
There's a dog that's super needy and clingy that we locked in a bedroom so that she's not huffing and puffing through the entire episode. So we're back. We've been off for a little while.
But we've been having an awesome summer. I failed grammar. Was kicked out of Mr. Robinson's class. An awesome summer.
An awesome summer. I feel like the summer really has been...
It flew by.
Yeah, but we had... How much fun did we have?
Yeah.
Oh my
Yeah,
God.
we
We
had a really
began
good
with
time.
the water journey. I think in April is when we really started kicking off our summer of shenanigans. We started off with a water journey at, what was that place in Newport?
Bodhi Spa.
The Bodhi Spa. For your birthday, Stephanie.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did that. And that was kind of like, yeah, you're right. We kind of kicked off the summer of fun.
Yeah.
It was really
Like
good.
the summer of, I don't know, togetherness or something.
Yeah,
Yeah,
lots of
connection.
togetherness, connection.
Yeah.
So we were thinking about, as we were going into this episode, we were thinking about what was really kind of has been going on. Obviously, we've been a little bit on hiatus from our Go Full Amazon podcast, and what we found was how much we missed it. I think I wrote that in the post as of late that I think Tara and I both realized that for us to really feel authentically whole and part of what it makes us happy. Is actually doing this, know, and not knowing it wasn't like our audience was like, where have you been? We're missing you because we we're so
We had people knocking on the door wondering where Go Full Amazon had gone for
because
the summer.
we're not that big and
I
profound,
think it's a
but
form of therapy, though.
it really is. It really is. And
I mean, if you sat around journaling together, you get so much more out of it because you get the perspective of
It
a
is.
friend.
It's kind of
But-
like a journal club in high school.
But it's
That's what we are.
but I think it was also interesting because I think Tara and I felt more disconnected as a friendship because we weren't doing this stuff. We really look forward to this as almost cultivating our friendship more too.
Yeah.
So as we're putting that out there into the universe, we also are it helps build our connection, And I actually felt a little disconnected in our relationship a little bit because we were having so much fun, but we weren't doing this sort of stuff, which is where the basis of connection comes from, So we wanted to talk about really what's kind of been going on with us, and we kind of thought of a theme of resetting. And then Stephanie came up with this really awesome saying from Robin Quivers, not Mike Tyson's ex-wife.
This is not from Robin Quivers.
It's not.
It's a freaking proverb. God bless. This is 2 separate conversations. One was me refusing to be a permanent part of this thing because it makes me feel uncomfortable and referring to myself as a sidekick and then looking up who the Howard Stern sidekick was and then saying hope springs eternal, which is a freaking proverb and not in any way associated.
You did put it. It's by Robin Quivers. We think it's by Robin Quivers.
Oh God, I am sweating from laughing in that moment. Okay,
All right, so we're gonna restart that.
No, I think this is perfect.
What was I doing? I missed that whole
I don't
conversation.
know. I don't know. You can call me Robin, but I did not say that quote, nor did she.
Okay.
Okay.
But
So let's start that again. Let's do the quote again because the quote's gorgeous.
Actually, we're going to reset.
yeah. I can't wait to hear this part. I can't stop because you were so serious. You're like, oh my God, Stephanie.
I love us.
Continue. I'll get it together. Go ahead.
Okay, so so we thought about resetting, which we're going to do at this moment right now to get our shit together. So resetting, we talk about it. Definition wise, it's fixing a new or different way.
Right.
We're resetting, going back to a different way, and then. This beautiful quote is hope springs eternal. Mm-hmm. And what that means is the feeling of hopefulness endlessly renews itself. So I feel like that is kind of what we really want to talk about and kind of what we're doing in all of the silliness and the craziness that's happened in our lives. It's I feel like the ebbs and flows of our lives always comes back to that. is that like we're always resetting and we're always hopeful in that. Even in our sorrow and our grief and our messiness and our emotions and things like that, there's always a hopefulness that comes along with it.
Yeah.
So that if this reset doesn't stick or isn't right, it's like it doesn't.
It's going to keep going.
The hope is going to return again.
Yeah.
It's like the jug.
Yeah, well,
full.
I think you have hope, and then you go through those moments where you're in crisis and you start to question whether things are going to work out, and then it's funny, things just work out, and then you look back and you're like, oh God, I couldn't even see that then at that time, and then again, hope is renewed.
And it's funny because even when you're in it, like, so I feel like I'm someone who knows that, like, with all the things in my life, I feel like I'm like, oh, that's right. I know this to be a true fact. I know I have experience with this. But when I'm in it emotionally, I cannot see my way out of it.
Yeah. I think it's like you see little things. There was a book I read, it referred to them as like God winks.
Yeah.
Where it's not like big, massive changes where you're like, oh, I'm clearly doing the right thing. It's like little things that show you that you're on the right path.
Yeah.
And maybe renew the hope. So
and
keep
like little signs and stuff like that.
You stay the course.
Yeah.
Little things.
And even when it's not what you think what you want it to be. Like, that's the difference, is that for me, I always get the disappointment because I'm like, when it's my idea of what I think is right for me, and then it comes like to my face of like, this really isn't your path.
Yeah.
It's funny, when I was reading that journal, I meant to bring it tonight.
Oh yeah.
Because it's so interesting to see what I was writing 10 years ago. And one of them was, to not get impatient thinking like, when am I going to be there?
Yeah.
Like getting impatient with God's timing, and you're like, I'm not there yet, when you don't actually know what the there is.
Yeah.
You don't get to decide.
Yeah.
It's like we still tell ourselves that we actually get to pick what the there is. And
I think
we don't.
Didn't we have like a sermon at church like a few months ago where it was like, we don't choose our journey. Like God has already written the story for us, and we're just kind of along for the ride. Like,
there's some peace in that.
Thank God
right?
we don't write our own story.
When you like go through some tough times, you're like, oh, God actually knew I was going to be in this situation.
Yeah. I mean, because even recently, like as of this upcoming Friday, my divorce will be final. Like, I got, my lawyer went to court on this past Friday and gave me the addendum, and I really just need to go in and sign it, and it's done. And it's funny because I on Friday I kind of cried a little bit, and it wasn't out of sadness. It was just kind of like this sense of relief, because this whole year I kept setting these little goals to get through each month, and I was like, well, it's going to be done by January, it's going to be done by February, now it's going to be done, and it kept going, and it was like that hope, losing hope and gaining hope and losing it again. Like, it's totally like that hope springs eternal, and now it's finally here, and I'm like, okay, now I can finally start picking up the pieces again.
Yeah. And there were times where you didn't want to hold on. I mean, there was times where you just were it was exhausting.
Yeah, it was exhausting. And I think the reason I cried on Friday was because I was just like, God, it's finally done. And there's like this one thing I can kind of like check off the box and like put it in the rearview mirror and move forward now. It's not constantly like weighing on my mind.
Yeah. It was huge.
For me, that's like my big reset button this year is.
Yeah.
Do you think it's going to be kind of like a weird emotional hangover feeling when it's finally in the past and it's like, oh, I actually, like, I don't have to walk through the mud anymore?
I think that's such a good way to put it. Because I was actually thinking about it today, because I'm currently in a new relationship and it's going very well. And, like when you're a girl, you kind of like jump forward and think about like what the possibilities of the future. And there's a little piece of me that I'm kind of scared to go down this path, like that things are going so well, because now I have 2 divorces under my belt, and I'm like, does that mean I'm not capable of ever getting married again? Does that mean I'm not capable of long-term relationship? Those are the things that kind of go through my mind. They're probably not logical. They're probably a story I'm telling myself, but I'm happy right now, and I'm kind of scared at the same time.
You know what though? So maybe you don't have to worry about what you're capable of a year from now. You just you're capable of being in this relationship today.
Right. And that's actually what I'm trying to do. Like today, I'm like, when I start thinking about the future, I'm like, just enjoy today. Like today was a good day. Or he sent me a funny thing.
For a planner like you, I imagine that's not easy.
That's not easy.
It's not.
No.
That is like Achilles heel. Well, again, I had made a list of all the funny things we've done this summer, so.
I love that though, because those are the
love
things that
that.
you think you would remember, and then even as you read them, I'm like, what was that?
Oh my god, that
Like
was
you think
funny.
you're gonna remember these things, and it's kind of depressing how quickly memories are fleeting.
Yeah. Well, that's one of the things I write them down because in those moments I'm like, oh, this was a great day. You know, and I write
Yeah.
down these little funny jokes that
love
we
that.
shared because I'm like, I never want to forget that.
I love that.
I think that's beautiful.
We had so much fun.
Yeah. Yeah, we did the shower, and then what did we do? We did 4th of July at your
Oh my
island.
God. Oh my God.
Some of the conversations that came out of 4th of July weekend, they kind of came out of nowhere. Mm-hmm. We talked about porn profiling, and I can't even remember how
What
we
was
got into
even the
that.
thing? Yeah, what was the porn profiling?
I think
I wasn't there.
Oh, I think someone was talking about cornhole, and then I heard
Pornhole.
cornhole, and porn pro, and then it turned into what it would
Well-
be like to be a porn profiler. Like,
Yeah, but then it went into like animals. Wasn't there into like, some
I can
furry
take credit for
animal
that,
stuff?
though, because I don't even know how I learned. Oh, one time I was in Vegas and there were like people like walking through the club dressed as gigantic furry animals, and this is like a thing. It's
For like a
thing.
fetish? It's like a fetish for
Well,
animal fetish?
Oh, and then it turned into a conversation about spirit animals.
What
Yeah.
are spirit
Because
animals would be?
like it's a thing where if you are a furry and it's
Yeah.
like this subculture of people, I don't even think it's entirely sexual. I think it's like it's like they're manic or CrossFit where
Okay.
they're like,
Yeah.
this is like how I like to spend my time dressing up as it's like a bunch of freaking mascots walking around.
But you also said it doesn't really matter the gender either. Like
No.
you don't know who's
they're kind
underneath
of
the mask.
right. You identify with your animal, and then like certain animals identify with each other. But yeah, it's not gender driven, totally bizarre. But I remember being in Vegas and thinking like, oh my God, I must be like really wasted right now
Because
because
there's a giant squirrel.
yeah.
Yeah.
What do you think you'd be if you were a furry?
My spirit animal is an owl.
I don't think I ever looked did I ever look at
You
this
didn't
one?
do it?
I don't think
I
I, ever
tried
did
to
it.
force it. I like to force this quiz.
Did you force that? All right, can you send it to me again? I don't think I did it.
Yeah. I am an owl through and through. I read it when I
That
took
is-
the quiz, and I was like,
that is
an
for
owl,
real you?
interesting. And then I read the description. And
I took the quiz. I'm a bear, but that's not the animal I would have picked. I know.
Are you really?
Yes. Which I think what it said was like bears are very aggressive and they just kind of take what they want.
I would say that's true about you.
No. I really think I'm
No.
a gentle giant, but
But bears can be gentle giants. Look at Yogi Bear.
yeah, I guess I'm more
Look at
like
Winnie the Pooh.
Oh, I love Winnie the
I
Pooh.
see you
Let
could
me
be
see if I
Winnie
can
the Pooh.
find
You don't
a
have to be just a
description of
grizzly.
Yeah. I know. I could see myself at a table
Koala. You could be a koala bear.
with my pot of honey.
Yeah. But it's not sharing it with anybody.
Sounds about right.
I could be like your little piglet friend.
Yeah, they're lovable bears.
The Care Bears.
Yeah. I have to look up what your description is.
What would
For
you
the bear?
I'll read it later.
For if I was going to be like a
If you
I
could
was
choose your spirit animal, what would you be?
dolphin.
I don't think a dolphin.
Oh, that was the other thing we talked about, the dolphin.
Do
you remember? All right, so we were at this thing, the island, and then
This is the 4th of July.
This is 4th of July. So then we talked about.
I just remember shaking my ass in front,
I said
in
my
front of the
spirit
fire. That's all
animal
I
would be a
remember.
dolphin because I don't like anal.
Oh.
And then you go, eh. That's what you said.
We had a lot of sexually driven.
I think Sean was sitting there through all of this too, and he's probably like, "Your friends are crazy." I'm so glad I'm trapped on this island with you crazy people.
Somehow we go down these tangents.
Oh God! I know. Yeah. So then there was that, and then so let's talk about some of our other summer shenanigans. So there was the gong bath,
Which
the
Stephanie,
gong bath, which Stephanie changed into the dong bath.
To make myself feel less uncomfortable about
Yes.
it.
So we coerced our little friend Stephanie, the poor thing. Like we just basically make her come with us on all of our crazy adventures.
we're like, get in, loser.
Yeah, get in, loser. Put on your Ray-Bans and let's go.
We're get in, loser. We're addressing our inner feelings.
We are.
And
We're gonna
I
make
get
it. So
uncomfortable,
those of you who
so.
have not experienced a gong bath, I tend to bring my friends to gong baths, even if they don't want to come or not. Our lovely friend Sherry went one time, and she was so horrified that she wanted to crawl into my blanket and wanted me to hold her the whole time because she hated everything about it. Tara has come with me a few times, and each time she usually falls asleep and somehow bats me in the face with her flailing arms, with her spastic arms as she's like, falling asleep.
I need a weighted blanket.
Yeah, she does. And then so now they were having, there was like this beautiful one at the like end of the summer, and it was on the beach. Oh, look, we have a little friend with us. Hi, Axel. Axel, can you say hi to everybody?
Axel, welcome to Go Full Amazon.
Axel, we're recording the podcast. What are you doing? You want to
me
sit
to
here with
see
us?
You want to sit here with us?
All right.
That's good. You can do that.
Did Robin Quivers have a sidekick?
This is Baba Booey.
Welcome, Baba Booey.
Welcome, Baba Booey. So we go to the beach and we lay there and we go, yes, so it's basically a gong bath on the beach. And so we bring our snacks because we don't go anywhere without food. So we brought a beautiful picnic dinner.
So many snacks.
So many snacks. At one point,
Steak?
Steph even wanted to, I know, I made steak salads for everybody.
Steak salads?
Yes.
Yeah.
And then we did the dark chocolate almonds, right?
we
And then
did
Steph,
Twizzlers
you and
too,
then,
didn't we?
of course we did. And then Stephanie wanted to crawl out of the gong bath and eat chocolate most of
I
the
didn't want to. I did. I did. And then I woke up, opened my eyes, and like made awkward eye contact with a guy that was walking around taking pictures.
Yeah.
And I was like, you better not take pictures of me creeping over here to take chocolate while everyone else is
Yeah.
zoning right out.
centering.
Did you like it though? The gong
it
bath?
was really relaxing.
Yeah. So the gong bath is so basically the gong bath is these beautiful gongs, and like the vibration of the gongs is supposed to like just reset your energy fields and things like that, you know. So it's a really I think it's really awesome.
I love it.
And I just realized, you know what was really interesting is that I just was having a moment where I was thinking, I'm like, oh God, I'm like, that time when we were at the gong bath, was I dating Joe at that time? Because I dated Joe most of the summer, didn't I?
I think so, yeah.
Because I was thinking, I'm like, God, I don't ever feeling like weirdly weird, like emotionally with like guys at that time. I felt like the summer was so much about friends that
It
even
was.
like when things were like strange with him, I was kind of like, whatever.
Yeah.
It didn't really faze me, you know?
Yeah, no, it didn't. Like, you really like just were in the moment.
Yeah. I need to be back there.
Yeah. I think you're getting there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm feeling a little unemotional. I mean, I'm feeling a little emotionally off tonight.
That's okay.
Okay. If that comes across, I apologize.
Do you want me to go get a dong? And vibrate it?
What are you going to do with it?
I'm going to reset your energy.
Reset your energy?
Vibrating dong.
I think I need to.
Oh,
Actually, speaking of energy, you know what I learned that the girls are saying today? Have you ever heard of like massive big dick energy?
no.
So this is apparently a new term. I just learned this night from my daughter. So apparently it means like it's like cockiness that comes without confidence that comes without cockiness. So it's kind of like if I hand you a check for $10,000 knowing I've got $10,000 in the bank cash. It's like I've got big dick energy.
Big dick energy.
Yeah.
I don't like that. I think that's obnoxious.
That's cockiness.
Yeah. But that's like the word, that's what they use now, the phrase.
The kids are using that word?
The kids are using that phrase.
How do they even know what that means?
Yeah, I know. I had to look it up in the Urban Dictionary.
Sandy's barking, as you can tell.
Big dick energy. I don't know. I don't know. That's not
I like
like
that.
a life-changing phrase.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Frankly, I'm sick of dicks being thrown in our face all the time. So anyway.
Yeah. Let's talk about like big cervix energy. Talk about a freaking powerful.
Oh, let's talk about cervixes for a minute. So I have some
cervixes
exciting
or
news.
cervices?
Cervixes. I think plural cervixes. So I have a big deal with it at work. Let's talk about that for a minute.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to talk about boys.
Let's talk about
and,
your
all that
summer
stuff.
and
Let's
your
talk about-
September.
Yeah, so my September, I know it's been a big, it's been a big month, and this is where I need to spend more time than in like how I'm feeling at this moment right now. Like
Yeah.
today is obviously I'm having some emotional like
You're weary.
Emotional
weird.
hangover.
I'm having an emotional hangover. But like really in the grand scheme of things, it's actually everything is so good. Like so let's see, Cooper went back to school. We finally got diagnosed with some information from doing a testing all summer. So Cooper went back to school and he's doing so well. Like I can't even it's like I don't even know what's happening. Like he's doing
Talk
so
about
well.
a reset.
Talk about a reset. And like, and what's been really interesting is like as a parent to like give him the tools and the words to use so that he knows what's going on with himself. Like he's even now like owning, like, he's had this pooping issue from like basically day one. And like now he's like, Mom, he's like, I told my friends the other day, he's like that I have a pooping issue. And if they don't want to be my friend, like it's okay. Cause he's like, I always told them that it wasn't me. And I'm like, honey, I said, he's like, I was so ashamed that I didn't tell him. He's like, now, he's like, I tell my friends that I have ADHD and I was born with a pooping issue and I'm really working hard to try to fix it. And he's like, and if you don't want to be my friend, then you weren't really my friend in the long run. And he said that all my friends have been so nice to me because I'm
Talk about
owning it.
bravery.
This is my 9-year-old. Like, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? And I'm like, oh my God, like he's able to own his messy. Like, you know what I mean? Like he's able to own it. And we're working so hard on like getting him to understand like what's going on with his body. And he can now like use words of like, he had a meltdown the other day in the car, and like I put music on to help, trying to help calm him, and the music was too much, and he like kind of was like, turn that off, and like and then finally we got into therapy, and he's like, the music was too much, Mom. And I'm like, oh, so just say that next time. Like, just tell me the music's too much and turn it off. And he's like, okay. So, like, he's actually getting words to, like, be able to navigate the world that he kind of needs it.
Like, he's going to be so equipped for life at a much younger age.
9. And it's been so fun to watch because, like, I mean, last year was so awful. I mean, it was draining on all of us. It was so awful, and he was in such a negative spiral in self-esteem, and like it was really awful, and it was emotionally for me. Like, I mean, it was so terrible, and like we finally have like some hope in all of it.
Isn't it interesting to see like how he's had this massive growth, and actually we can probably take a lesson from Cooper because I mean I know for me I've like lashed out or like been angry or done like things impulsively and I can't verbalize what's wrong with me, and now this kid is actually like, this is too much for me, it's overstimulating, turn it off.
Like even in the morning now
you can verbalize that,
and even in the morning, like he's like, we do the same thing, brush your teeth, put your shoes on, blah, blah. Those things that we've been saying as parents from like the beginning of like their birth to get them out the door, like, you know what I mean, like we still have to say those things all the time, and he's like, Mom, you're asking me to do too many things at once. He's like, please ask me like 1-2 things at once. Like he now can ask for what he needs.
He's like advocating for himself.
He's advocating for himself. Yeah.
It's great.
And I'm like, okay, put your shoes on. Go brush your teeth. I mean, like things like that, which I talk fast and I say a lot of words, and you know what I mean? And for him, that is the worst thing I can do for him.
Yeah. Stressing him out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
it stresses him out. One step at a time.
Yeah. So it's really, I mean, that's really kind of beautiful. It's like beautiful to see.
It's kind of funny because it sounds like that's probably what you need right now, because you tend to get the squirrels going and thinking about like 10 things at once, and you probably just need to put one foot in front of the other, and like you just bought your house, now you're working on this program, just being present with your friends and enjoying like these nice moments that you've had over the past couple weeks.
I know, and it's funny,
people.
Right? Because I always like, I'm always, there's still a piece of me that's like you were saying, like, instead of it being on God's time, it's like, okay, when I get here, I'll be okay. Like when I hear it, I'll be okay. There's always sometimes that like ticker tape that like I want to get to, and once I get to it, then I'll be okay. Like, there's still like I still operate from that place, even though I know that like I believe in God's time, and I believe I can only control so much, and I can believe in being present and like look at like what's going on in my life. Like if I look at my September, Cooper went back to school. I got this huge promotion at work. We got 3rd in our triathlon. I just won a master's CrossFit competition yesterday.
Yes.
Like, you know what I mean? Like I own my home. Like, I mean, there's like so many beautiful things that like, I mean, that you could look on a checklist and it's like, girl, like you're killing it. And I'm like weeping emotional.
Yeah.
Well,
that's okay though.
Yeah.
It's okay because like when you go through big things, like you have big feelings.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. I'm a big feelings person. Like I just have to really just always know that.
Remember
like, I'm a
that
big
quote?
feelings
Like
person.
it was like 2 weeks ago when I saw that woman Glennon Doyle, who she was like in an interview, and the person was like, "So what's next for Glennon?" And she's like, "I'm gonna go take my dog for a walk." She's like, I mean, she's like, I'm so over the whole, like, you have to have, like, a big 5-year plan, and everything you're doing has to do with that 5-year plan.
Yeah.
Like, sometimes you just need to, like, live in the moment.
I feel like a lot of our kids and, like, just our friends kind of suffer from that mentality. Like, even me, like, I'm always constantly thinking about, like, and my first husband, he used to always say this about me, and now I recognize it. He was like, you're never in the moment. You're always planning the next thing. And which is good. Like, you got to have some plans, but you don't need to have, like,
none of it, like, sucks the enjoyment. If it keeps you from finding joy. Like, so the things that you're thinking about for 5 years from now, when you're in those things finally, you won't even enjoy them, even though you've been planning for them for half a decade.
Right.
Because you're going to be then half a decade down the road.
Yeah, waiting for the next thing.
Right.
Like, that being said, planning things, I get some joy from that.
Yeah. And mine are always tied.
I'm a little type A, so.
And mine's always tied to relationship. Like mine is always tied to still validating like myself with a relationship. Even though I've been single for freaking so long, but there still is that like little voice in my head, you know what I mean? That I'm still not good enough and not worthy. Which is so fucked up. But I
not
say it out
fucked
loud
up.
because I know that's like, that is somewhere that I still operate from.
I don't think it's fucked up because, sorry.
Oh, it's Axel, We know
His favorite
that
word.
This is an existing problem. This is not going to be anything
He's
new.
so quiet, I forgot he was there. Anyway,
Taking it all in.
I don't think
Yeah.
it's messed up. That's why we have therapists and friends
Yeah.
and podcasts that we all listen to, because I think we all share those same feelings of not good enough. Like, this is what people make their money off, like, of self-help books. Like,
Yeah.
we all go through that in some aspect of our life.
Yeah. I'm just
It
so
doesn't matter.
sick of it, though.
You would be questioning yourself no matter what.
No.
Like, if you found yourself good enough to be in these relationships with people and you were like a serial monogamist, then you would be questioning whether you're strong enough to be alone.
Yeah, right.
You're like, you're never there.
Yeah, I think that's just the ebb and flow of it. But it just seems like, for me, the story I tell myself is that, like, I've been single for freaking 9 years. You know what I mean?
Well, I think you have to define single because you've been in relationships.
Yeah.
I mean, they haven't been...
I mean, we know a lot of people that are married that are single. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Because, I mean, they're in a relationship and they're lonely.
On the
Yeah.
books, yeah.
Yeah, on the books. Yeah,
Yeah, on the books they're in a relationship, but they're lonely in this
yeah.
marriage. You've been single, but you've had a lot of connection with, like, really cool people.
I have.
And you do, and you talk about them, and
I have.
so I don't know that...
But I think what happens for me is, like, and this happened to me the other night, like, I had, like, this day at work. And this is where I think I need to be better about, even in therapy and talking about it with Carol and stuff like that, is that, like, I had this day at work. And it was like magical. Like, I worked with these patients that were just, like, incredible. Like, I worked with this, like, I think I told you guys about it, like, this 98-year-old woman who basically, like, put herself through, like, a PhD program and, like, left her husband and raised 4 kids. And, like, she was, like, this woman was amazing. And she was now 89 years old. And she's telling me her story as I'm, like, working on with her. And I just felt like the world stopped as I'm listening to this woman. Because I'm like, we could do anything. Like, she just gave me, like, this just aura of, like, we can do, yes, hope, and, like, just like, we can do anything that we're capable of. So, like, I had that, and then there was, like, this, I don't know, there was, like, these 2 patients, like, of course I can't remember the other one, but, and I came home, and, like, Seth had the boys, and I was home by myself, and I walked in the door, and I'm like, I was gushing with, like, goodness and hopefulness, and, like, I wanted to share it with, like, the person.
Yeah. And that person was...
And there was nobody. And that was so hard. And that was, and I was able to share it with you guys, and I shared it with, like, a couple of my other friends and stuff like that. But, like,
It's, like, weirdly
I wanted,
anticlimactic.
I wanted, like, to sit on the couch and, like, have him face me,
Yeah.
and, like, touch my feet, and, like, look at me in the eyes and see, like, how, like, that moved me, But again, like, and of course I laughed because I'm like, ugh, I'm like, knowing who it was, like, I'm like, you probably wouldn't, like, pay attention and, like, wouldn't get how emotional that was for me, and then it'd be anticlimactic and I'd be pissed off and I went to bed anyway.
No.
But I don't think so.
Because
I don't think so.
Run
But-
across the ones that would do that.
yeah, and they're not here. Yeah, the ones that would do that are not here. So, like, for me, like, sometimes those moments are just...
Like, when all that goodness comes to, like, a screeching halt. Or it feels like it does.
And it just, and I get overwhelmed with, like, loneliness, which I know isn't the right word.
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
In that moment. Yeah.
Yeah. It's hard. And again, it's not because I want someone to, like, take care of me or anything like that. I'm like, I want someone to share this with.
Yeah.
It's
Did you
not
ever
my dog.
did you ever read that that article that was written by Megan Rapinoe's girlfriend? She's like a retired basketball player.
Yes.
And
You sent it to me, or someone.
yeah.
Oh, I think Joe.
It's
Actually, you
such
know
a
what?
good article.
Joe sent that to me.
It's such a good
Yeah.
article. And like, she writes an article just, like, gushing about how much she loves her girlfriend Megan Rapinoe,
Yeah.
who is, like, not only is she, I think she just got the award for, like, the best soccer player in the world.
Yes.
But she also is super ballsy and, like, she goes on record standing up to anybody.
Yeah.
She doesn't
Wasn't
care.
she like a thing with Trump and stuff like that? They were like in this banter.
But she does it in this way. She's just, like, so carefree. She's not negative about it. She just is who she is. And but in that article or that letter, her girlfriend refers to it as putting on Megan goggles because she's like, oh, it's like, I call it putting on Megan goggles because it's like such a gift to just for a moment see the world through her eyes.
Yeah.
And because just the things that move her are it's so awesome to watch her, but then also to just sit there and listen to her explain how these things are moving her. You know, like,
That's, I kind of operate like
that's
that.
the kind
you
of
like want
connection.
somebody that
you want
wants
somebody
to put
who
on
wants,
Jen goggles.
yeah.
And same and vice versa. Like you want to put on
Yeah.
like, you know,
I know.
like where you just get so much joy out of seeing that person fired up. Sandy, you are.
And I
You
think there's guys that want
yell
that too.
out.
I don't know that they're always able to verbalize that that's what they
Yeah.
want.
Yeah.
Yep.
I like that though.
Well, no, I think that they do.
So I had this, fuck nut, that like is like, that's my dog.
I don't know why Axel's going to school. I'm sorry.
I know.
Auntie Jen was not
Looking over
I
there
know.
just to see if he's paying attention. He doesn't appear
Yeah.
to be. But
He's got like his little notebook over
I know.
there.
yeah,
Like,
he's soaking it all in. Don't worry.
So to be on topic though, like when I think about those moments and stuff like that, I'm like, okay, so let's like the like, and I always say like, okay, where's the like hope shot and all that? Because typically what happens is I will like talk about it. I'll reach out to like, to you guys and to like my friends and stuff, and I'll talk about it. And then it's like, all right. But the reality is like, I am beyond loved so much more than just with like a significant other. You know what I mean? Like my life is beyond
yeah.
connection and love and support and stuff like that. You know what I mean? But like, there's something where it's like, that's
Well, there's different types
something
of
that I
love.
crave.
There's different types of love.
You want me to
Like-
touch your feet?
No, I hate feet. You know how much I hate feet.
Well, you just said that that's what you wanted.
Well, you know what I mean.
There's the different types of love. So there's like familial love. There's the eros, I think, which is like the romantic love. There's like distinct
Yeah.
different types
Yeah.
of love, and I think that humans need all of them.
I know.
yeah.
You don't make up for voids in the other types by like stocking up more.
Right, in the other
on the
areas.
other areas.
Yeah, I
don't
know.
think it works like
Yeah, I don't think it does. No. Yeah.
Yeah, you got a lot on your list that you've done. You've accomplished a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you just graduated last year.
I took my boards 2.5, like less than 2 years ago. So October 2017, I took my boards.
And you kind of went off tangent. Can you please tell the audience
Oh.
what you're doing at work?
I
Because
know.
while I am sad for you, I know I'm looking at like a freaking amazing human
I know.
who's accomplished a lot in
know.
like, the past few years.
I know. And I thought about that the other day. I mean, David and I were talking about that yesterday, and I was like, I took my boards like less than 2 years ago, and like when I even got the job at the hospital, I was like, this is what I want to do, and this is why I'm getting hired here. You know what I mean? And I said that in such a way that I believed it myself when I have no idea what the fuck I was even talking about. Because I was like, oh yeah, I'm sorry, Axel's like right here listening to me. And I just was like, I'm going to totally like just basically like fake it until I make it. So basically like as a pelvic floor or pelvic, I like to call it pelvic health because it's not just pelvic floor, but it's pelvic health, physical therapist specialist. Like I get to so I just recently, like last week, got approved to create this program at the hospital. So now I get to do the education for any postpartum prenatal moms, the urology department, and then basically like the whole idea is to like make it go from like, it's like this crazy program I
Yeah.
get to create at the hospital. I get to create it.
Yeah.
Totally have no idea what I'm doing.
But again,
But I totally am going to do it.
I think the stuff in your life is probably the lesson that you need, and that you just need to put one foot in front of the
Yeah,
other,
yeah.
and start with one thing at a time. Like you
Yeah.
don't need to build the program tomorrow.
No.
You need to start with like one thing.
Right. So that's kind of like with the way it's been, and I feel like that's kind of how I've operated anyway. Is like is just kind of like doing that, knowing that like like what I do know and what is important to me in the hospital is like what I want to start with first.
Yep.
And that's education, because I already do it. Like I already do it
Yeah.
with my patients now.
You already do it, so now you just need something official that you can like
Yeah.
hand out and like
Yeah.
and even like a classroom
Yeah.
where you go and you know that opportunity is coming up.
I know it's going to be really amazing. So
You know
yeah,
what's so funny is when I was first really getting to know you and like learning anything about you, it was right when you were, I think, around the time when you graduated.
Yeah.
And my midwife that delivered Axel had sent me an article on pelvic floor health and how we're doing such a disservice to mothers by not providing them with that information. And I remember asking you about it, and you're like, are you serious? It's like, what I was put on this earth to do.
I know.
Let's talk about it.
I know.
And that was actually a really life-changing handful of months for me.
Yeah. I know. And I feel like that was like such a like cool way for us to even have like our friendship. You know what I mean? I was like, I'm like, yes, because I was working with your, we talked about pelvis a lot.
Exactly.
We got right down into it.
Finger banging me. Getting it all. It was a reset. I needed the muscles up there to be reset.
I know.
Reset
So it's really unbelievable. I mean,
Yeah.
it really is an unbelievable thing. And like, I have to remember like that is, so when that voice tells me, that like I'm not good enough or whatever it is, I'm like, I have to switch it. Like I have to reset that and I have to go back to the hope thing,
And I think that's why I think you were talking about like the whole TED Talk with connection. And I think, when you reach out into these things that are not healthy for you, like even thoughts or things that we do and stuff like that, it's because you're lacking connection. And when you kind of reconnect with the people that love you, you kind of reset and your hope is regained.
And it's so funny because I think that even happened to me today. And I don't know if this happens to you guys too, but like the minute you guys both walked in the door and like I obviously had kind of been like coming off in a little bit of an emotional thing from yesterday, like I immediately like just felt like and I was like, and I started crying. I was like, I got emotional and I started getting a little messy and crying. And I was like, oh my God. I'm like, that's what I cherish. I cherish that I can like let down the guard, as I would say. Cause like, sometimes I have to power through like what it is that I have to get done for the day, with the kids and work and like, just the house and the dog and like all the stuff that on our checklists, like as we have to power through.
Yep.
Some of that is very like without, emotion. And then when you're around like the people that know you and love you, it's like, okay, I can like let go, down and be like, this is what's really going on,
Well, because now you're in a place where you can trust and be yourself, and you don't have to be strong. In that moment anymore. You can just let it go.
Well, and you guys also get it. I mean, it's so nice to be around people that are like, oh yeah, I totally
get it. You have
get
a cute cry face too,
I do?
by the way. Yeah, in case you ever wondered.
I don't have an ugly cry
Some people
face.
are really ugly when they cry.
So I was like, I'm going to start crying.
You're like, ooh, you should not do that in public.
I like that
crying. Cute. Maybe it's because you're so strong that it's it's adorable.
It's adorable. Okay, that's nice. Thank you. Because I do cry. I am a crier. Like that's kind of always. My mom has always been like, that's exactly who you are. You've always been like that. I'm like, oh, well, that's who I am.
There's no therapeutic release quite like crying.
I know.
Yeah.
But I mean, the good stuff is like, I mean, I guess we can talk about it. Like, we can talk about. I mean, I don't want this all about me. We're gonna talk about your stuff too.
Yeah, we talked about like my divorce and everything, and then I just bought a house. Like my closing is on October 18th, and I think for me, like the big
Painting parties.
Yeah. It's also a reset for me because I have always, and I don't want this to be I don't want this to be taken as like a man bashing thing. It's just I've always been a follower. I've always had a long-term boyfriend or a husband or something, and I've always gone to their house, their apartment, and lived their life. And I've never owned my own place. I've never painted any place the colors that I like wanted for all myself. And I know it sounds selfish, but it's really like I'm just really excited to have this like my own like little.
Oh God, that's not selfish.
Yeah. Like I'm glad I don't have to ask anyone about what color they like. I'm like, nah, it's gonna be this color.
Yeah, you can do whatever you want.
And these are the cabinets.
There's really something awesome about it, Tara.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things awesome about
So that was like a really big reset button because I think like my mom and I have had these conversations. She's like, I've always worried about you because you've always worn your heart in your sleeve, and you've always like whenever you've been in a relationship, you've completely
jumped to it totally.
Jumped to that relationship totally and like shrunk. Like the word you like to use, like I shrink back and I'm not totally who I am. And like this is like the first year where I'm really like who I am and okay with who I am. And even in like the new relationship I am, like it's good because we see each other but we have distance. But I also like when we get into conversations that I'm not quite comfortable with, I'm just like, well, this is my thought and I don't worry about what he's going to think about me.
Yeah.
When we talk about it. Even if I don't totally agree with him.
That's so good.
And it's kind of refreshing.
Well, it's also a little bit more mature, like you know what I mean, which is the way it is.
Yeah. So I'm very excited.
It's good stuff.
But all the paperwork you got to hand in, like that's like
for
every day.
house,
Like
I
talking about like resetting and
crazy.
loss of hope. Like I'll hand in all those papers,
Yeah.
and then it's like, okay, I've handed in everything,
It's
in, and they're
so-
like, okay, now you need like X, Y, and Z.
It's like endless requests for documentation. I had only gone through it the one time when we bought this house in Rhode Island, and it is overwhelming the things that they ask for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They're thorough.
Yeah, even the one that I went through was like, I remember, just going through all of it.
What are you doing there, buddy?
We have Baba Booey laying on the
Baba
counter.
Booey's
so-
back. Axel, can you say Baba Booey?
Baba Booey.
You sounded like such a little toddler. You're pre-K. Say Baba Booey. No.
Baba Booey.
Are you being shy, Axel? Axel, who's that?
Yeah, this is probably like a good way to segue into the ending.
Yeah.
That was like such a good talk. And actually one of my favorite moments of the summer too, just to kind of tie it all together, is when we were at the dong bath and you were talking about happy endings.
I know, Axel, that's hilarious. Yeah, it's a thing for women.
Yeah.
You know, but damn, why shouldn't it be?
Yeah, I know. That's the first I'd heard about it. And I was
Right?
like, oh,
Me too.
Yeah.
But the funny thing was that, like, it's all about what you know as normal, right?
Yeah.
So, like, this friend of mine,
Baba Booey.
she's been going through her adult life assuming that all of her female friends have been offered happy endings in their massages. And I was thinking that this never happens. It was just it was
Yeah,
just
I've
such a
never been
funny
offered it.
Can you please tell the
situation.
story?
Oh, about when I got mine.
Yes.
Oh, that, yes. Oh, okay. So, yeah, no, I didn't get a happy ending.
I know.
So, not
Yeah,
to
let's
ruin
clarify.
the
It's
ending.
not,
of the
yes,
story.
it's, yeah.
Well, hadn't we just talked about, I don't know, I had just talked about the fact that my friend has, in many cases, been offered a happy ending after her massages, which I thought was wild. And she's just like a hypersexual person. So if it was going to happen to anyone, it would be her. But I went for a massage and
That's right, because it was the same one that you and I
Yes!
because you were like,
I've
did
been-
this happen to you?
I've been to this one
Yeah.
before. And I will say that I had just gotten waxed, so maybe I was like
A little sensitive?
No, like I was
Maybe
very
you were putting
fresh
out
down
some
there.
vibe, yeah.
I was putting out some vibe. Maybe I was ovulating. I don't really know.
Did you at the right?
But this one was, as she was rubbing particularly my hamstrings and like getting very close to that little spot between your hamstring and your butt cheek, she was rubbing and she was moaning like she was getting the massage. And I was... I mean, she was having a Dove chocolate moment, is what I would call it in my world. And I was like a little annoyed because it made me not want to respond at all like I normally would to a massage.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, I don't want to encourage this and have this turn into something that I'm not prepared to finish. But yeah, I guess I'll never know. I don't know.
Which is so funny because I had the same. I went to the same person, and I was like, now of course I'm like, well, why did she try to do it with me?
I know.
I'm
And,
good
like,
enough for
I'm
happy
good enough for happy ending.
Again. Oh Lord.
I was like, what? Yeah, no, and I loved. I'm like, ooh, Axel, Axel just fell down the stairs. Axel, you okay, honey?
You okay?
You okay?
Yeah, you're good.
Yes.
He just scooted down the stairs on his booty cheek.
You got it.
Good job,
You
buddy.
did
Good
it.
job, Baba
Good
Booey.
landing.
Oh my god, yeah. So, oh god, that. So yeah,
The happy ending.
the happy ending.
The happy ending that wasn't. The happy ending that almost was.
That is like
But
a
I
great
clammed up.
way
I know.
to end the episode.
I know.
I love that happy endings. So we are going to be full of the feeling of hopefulness.
Fall. The leaves are
Endlessly
falling. It's a new
renews
season.
itself. Not by Robin Quivers.
No, not by Robin Quivers.
Steph, thanks for always sitting with us. We love you.
Love you.
Okay. Thank you. Good night.
We're out.
We're out.